Hi everyone, my name is Eliza and this is Eliza's Bookshelf. Today I am going to go over 5 books that I read in order to buy a book. So if you guys don't remember, or if you guys are new, I have been doing this thing where I read 5 of my own physical books before I am able to buy anything. And I have the 5 books that I read here and I have the book that I bought. So let's get to it. I think this is the order. Okay, so the first one I actually have been reading since January. It's a thick one. It is Babel by R.F. Kuang. And I read this via book and audio, and I think that really helped me because the first half was kind of slow. It wasn't interesting or anything. I was really engrossed, and everything that she was talking about in terms of translation and how it affects, what you read, different cultures and stuff like that. I thought it was very interesting. It was just very dense. It felt like I was reading a textbook, but in a good way. Like I was definitely still intrigued, but the audiobook definitely helped with that. Babel by R.F. Kuang. It's about this boy named Robin who was orphaned at a young age, and he is brought to London by this mysterious professor, Professor Lovell, and there he joins like a group of other kids at this institute. I think it's called the prestigious Royal Institute of Translation. He meets a bunch of other kids, but he's primarily close with these 3 other people. Yeah, I kind of forgot their names, but it's just so crazy because they go through their rigorous training throughout the years, but then they start to realize that, this institute is not really what it seems. And there's this underground Hermes Society, which is an organization dedicated to stopping imperial expansion. So it has to do with like student revolutions and colonial resistance, the use of language and translation as the dominating tool of the British Empire, and it is so good. There's a lot of like surprises, backstabbing. There's a lot of action, if you can believe it, near like the second half of the book, but the first half of the book really sets it up with all the information you need and kind of just like, appreciating language and translation. So it made me think a lot about how our books are translated as well. So yes, I gave this 5 stars. It's like one of my favorite reads of the year. Next one is Mad Honey by Jodi. I always pronounced it Jodi Picoult, but I was watching Lena's videos and she pronounced it Jodi Pico. So I think I'm pronouncing it wrong this whole time. But anyways, I gave this one 5 stars as well. It was just I thought it was fast paced, as in like I couldn't wait to, it may be a little slow paced, but I couldn't wait to see what was coming up next. So I definitely read it under 24 hours. You have this family with the mom and the son. Mom is named, what's her name again? Olivia McAfee, and the son is named Asher, and Asher is dating this girl named, what's her name? Lily. And one day he's like out hanging out with Lily, but then he calls mom in the middle of the night and it says, Lily is dead. Lily might be dead. Come help me. And so it really just goes from there, like a whole courtroom drama type of thing, but then also going back into their past, his relationship with Lily and what led up to this event. And so it's kind of like a mystery romance in one drama. I just loved it. And a lot of like social aspects and things like that. It's just so crazy. And it makes you think a lot, but I loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The next 3 books I overall enjoyed, but I gave them all 3 stars. So first one, we have The Writing Retreat, which I did buddy read with one of my friends on Bookstagram. The Writing Retreat, this is my first book by Julia Bartz. I don't know if it's a debut novel. Let me see. It is her first novel. Yes, I'd say it's a pretty good debut novel. But I feel like I just didn't like any of the characters, and eventually when you kind of figure out what's going on, you're like, why are people still doing what they're doing? So you have the main character named Alex, and you have like her former best friend, now turned rival, Ren, and then you have this famous feminist horror writer named Rosa. And so Alex is kind of like down on her dumps with her career, but she like finagled her way into this writing retreat that is held by this horror writer, Rosa. And so there's only like, 5-10 spots? I don't know. It's very limited. And so when you go to this writing retreat, I believe it's over like 1 to 2 months, but you're supposed to get a lot of tips and tricks from her about how to write your novel and just like, I don't know, jumpstart your career again. But when they get there, they find out that they're supposed to be writing one whole novel by the end of the retreat, and whoever has the best novel wins something. I believe it's like some deal with her, a publishing deal with her. and a lot of money, I think. So everyone wants to do it, right? But then in the middle of the whole thing, someone disappears and you're trying to figure out who disappeared and why. And the reveal or the secret actually comes up like pretty soon, maybe in the middle of the book. And after that, it's just trying to figure out what to do from there. But after the whole reveal, I just find myself not liking any of the characters at all. Rosa, I thought she was badass at first, but she's just like a really bad person. Ren, I thought she was cool too, but she was not really sticking up for anyone. I don't know, I didn't like anyone in this book by the end of it. And even the ending I thought was lame, but I mean, overall, I thought it was okay. I gave it 3 stars. And the next 2 books that I read, I also gave it like a solid 3 stars, and the series just keeps getting better and better. It is Unravel Me, which is book 2, and Ignite Me, which is book 3. Honestly, like I can't keep the books straight in my head. I don't know like which one is book 2 or 3, but then in the back of these books, there's always these pictures that remind me. Okay, this one doesn't have it. Let's see. Yeah, so it reminds me which one. So 1, 2, 3, and then in the back of the other books, they also have all of the books together. See? What is it? Here we go. So Shatter Me, Unravel Me, and then Ignite Me, and then on the next page there's like the next 3: Restore Me, Defy Me, and Imagine Me? Yeah, I'm always so confused like which one is which book because they all sound the same. All I know is Shatter Me is the series, that's the first book, and then you have like 6 main books and a lot of novellas in between. It's just so crazy. So let me put this one back here. Yeah, so Unravel Me is number 2, and this is number 3, and I'm just really interested in what's going to happen. So the first book, I thought it was just like so lame and not a lot of information about the world building itself, and it's just like this weird insta-love type of thing, so I wasn't really interested. And the main character herself, she was like kind of annoying, so I'm really surprised at how much I am liking this series. I can't really tell you the specifics because I read it all in a row and kind of binged read it all, so it all kind of is one book in my head. And so all I know is Juliet, she's like in this, she's isolated, she's imprisoned, she can't touch anyone because that's her power. Whatever she touches or whoever she touches, they die. And so she's crazy because she hasn't talked to anyone in like almost a year. And the world just implodes from there. But like in these 3 books itself, I can summarize it by saying she gets out, she meets a group of people, they try to take down whoever she was, you know, getting imprisoned by, the reestablishment, which is kind of like the government who is trying to tell you that the world sucks and they're trying to make it a better place. And so it's all about her taking down this big bad guy, which she, spoiler alert, eventually does, and it's very anticlimactic. Like, I was thinking that's all it took, but yeah, so I finished the first 3, and I'm excited to finish the second 3 and see if I want to read the little short stories, the novellas, because there's like one in between each book, it feels like, but I haven't read any of them. Anyway, so I gave them all 3 stars. So let's recap. First book I read is Babel, and I gave it 5 stars. Then we have Mad Honey, which is also really good, 5 stars. And we have The Writing Retreat, which was pretty good as well, pretty good debut, but I gave it 3 stars, and everyone really sucked. And then these 2 I read. So let's see the book that I bought for the Read 5 Then Buy challenge that I'm doing. I got X's and O's by Amy Leah, and I've been wanting this book since last year, but since I put this buying restriction on myself, I didn't buy it until now. It came out last month, and I didn't get it in time to do like the X's and O's readathon by some of the girls on YouTube, so I didn't read it with them. I do hope to read it soon because I loved her first book. What was it called? Set on You. I loved it so much. And this one follows this girl, Tara Chan, who is the friend of the girl in the first book. She is a romance book connoisseur, so I think she just loves romance books, but she's trying to figure out what is going on with her love life by revisiting her past relationships and her exes and stuff like that. And she ropes up this guy named Trevor Metcalf. He is a firefighter. He is also a friend of the guy from the first book. But anyway, so they're like, I think they are roommates or housemates, something like that. But anyways, he is going to help her revisit her exes and figure out what went wrong. And then they form a relationship themselves. So I'm so excited about that, especially because the first book was so cute. And this cover is just so amazing. Okay, so yes, so let me just show you all the books that I read. So these are the 5 books that I read, and this is the book that I bought. All right, I hope you guys are enjoying this challenge that I'm putting on myself for this year. It is going well so far, but we'll see. Yeah, thank you so much for joining again. I will see you next time. Bye.